What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to 9 to 5 Golf. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you my review of the stack system. I'll show you an overview of how the hardware works, how it pairs with the app, my personal experience with it, and then I'm going to take you on the golf course and show you it in action. So let's get to it. So the stack system itself is a speed training device developed by Dr. Sasha McKenzie, and it comes with these adjustable weights that lets you train at a wide variety of setups. And the club itself feels really solid. It feels like a regular golf club, kind of like a hybrid length. It's got this cap on top of it that lets you just take it off, slide the weights right on, secure it. It's got a nice grip as well, but if you don't like it, you are able to change it also. And it overall just feels really solid, really durable, feels like you're swinging a regular club. And as for the adjustable weights, they come in this cool little carrying case, which makes it really easy to just toss in your bag and carry around with you. And the weights themselves are sort of the stainless steel finish that just feel really high quality. They total out to 300 grams. So like I said, during the training programs, the app tells you to put on certain weights, do a certain amount of reps and sets, change it. So this makes it really easy. Overall, no problems with the hardware itself. There are a few times where if you have some weights fastened on and you take a swing and you accidentally hit the ground, which it's not designed to do, then obviously the cap gets a little loose. But once you just tighten that thing back up, it works perfectly fine after that. Now, as for the price, the speed trainer itself, along with the weights and access to 1 year of the app, totals out to about $299 US. You're also required to have a launch monitor that can track swing speed, something like the PRGR monitor, MLM2 Pro, or even if you have access to like a TrackMan or Foresight, then that'll work. I didn't have access to a launch monitor, so I actually bought a different bundle, the bundle with the Stack Radar, which comes in this cool little carrying case too. So really like the packaging and design of the hardware, really easy to just throw in your bag. The speed trainer itself looks cool in the bag, like a fancy alignment stick. And as for the radar, it is a pretty sleek design. It is battery powered and plastic, but for the price points and how seamless it integrates with the app, I think it's a solid value. The bundle that includes the Stack Radar totals out to $499 with the sale they have going on right now. So all in all, it's not very cheap. And like I said, a purchase only gives you one free use of the app. After the first year, it is a $99 renewal subscription fee, which is pretty steep. So that is kind of the main downside of the system. But let me show you how it pairs with the app. Now, the best part about the Stack training system is definitely the app. It's really easy and seamless to use, and I've actually found it to be a pretty fun process. It gives you a personalized training program tailored for you. Aside from the speed training programs, it also comes with Stack Putting and Stack Wedge, which does add more value into the package. For the purposes of this review, I'm just going to be doing the speed training component of it, but there are those other aspects as well. When you first start, you're going to be put into the foundation program, where you're initially told to do a baseline test where you'll swing your driver as well as a few different weights on the stack itself. This gives you a good baseline of where you're kind of starting at, and then you'll be put through the foundation program, which I completed in about 6 or 8 weeks. And the initial experience was great. I found in my personal experience that I was able to gain a good amount of newbie gains in the beginning, so kind of an initial boost of speed. And then as I've gone through that program and into the next ones, the gains are kind of picked up a little slower, but still they're being made. I started out with a swing speed of around 106 miles per hour with my normal driver swing, and right now I'm cruising around 112, 113 miles an hour with training speeds at my maximum being up to 117 and 118 miles per hour. So overall, really happy with the results. And if I could just boil this whole review down into one question, does the stack work? Yes, it does work. Now, is the stack system worth it? Kind of a personal question, because like I said, the upfront cost is a lot, and on top of an already expensive upfront cost, the extra $100 you're gonna be putting into it just makes it that more steep of a price. But I will definitely be renewing this whenever the time comes next year because of how much it's helped my game. So like I said, when I first started the program, I was swinging around 106 miles per hour, give or take, with driver carries ranging from the 250 to 260 range. And then after completing the foundation program, and then up until now, I'm towards the end of my second program. On the golf course, I'm carrying my driver between 270, 280. Anything less than 270 is kind of a bad shot for me nowadays. And a lot of my drivers are totaling out to 300 yards, which is pretty sweet. One thing I was worried about was, will overspeed training or this system affect my swing mechanics? You know, will I pick up a lot of speed, but then on the same hand lose a ton of accuracy? But honestly, in my experience, I was really surprised about how much more accurate I got with using the stack system. I think it's something about over speed training that allows your body to kind of swing more freely. When you're doing speed training, you're not really thinking about target or consequence of where your ball's going. You're just worried about swinging your absolute hardest. And in my experience, when I took this onto the golf course, not that I was swinging my absolute hardest, I felt my swing was a lot more open and free, and I've been hitting more fairways than I have in a long time. So not only am I hitting it more far, I'm hitting it straighter. User experience may vary, but in my opinion, it's really helped my swing overall. Another thing I really enjoy about speed training is the immediate feedback you get with your fast and slow swings. So you might have those swings where you're really kind of grimacing down and swinging what you feel like is as hard as you absolutely can. But if your mechanics are all out of whack, you'll see on the speed radar that it actually results in a slower speed. And then when you really hunker down, try to keep the club more on plane and perform the technique a little bit more correctly, even though you might not feel like you're swinging as hard, it'll result in a higher speed. So that immediate feedback really just helped my swing overall. I've said in the past that I tend to have a pretty inside takeaway and a really quick transition with my lower body. And then when I'm doing my speed training in the garage, I really focus on mitigating these issues. And it's really great to see the immediate feedback translate to my swing speed. So while I have gained a good amount of speed with this system, like I said, I'm swinging right now between 112 and 113 miles per hour on the golf course. I have hit training speeds up to 118 miles per hour. I think the toughest thing about speed training is actually getting those training speeds translated to your golf course swing. So there's another feature in the app called Special Sessions, which the app recommends you do every few weeks during your training program. And you actually do it on the driving range with golf balls, with your driver, for the purpose of trying to apply those training speeds to your real golf swing. So I'm going to show you on the course right now a session of me doing that. So let's get into it.
All right, so before we get into the stack session, I wanted to get a decent baseline of where my swing is at for the day. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit 5 drivers at my normal cruising speed, marking down the club head and ball speed as well as the carry number. Then we're going to transition into the app, into our special session. It's called Speed Priming with Balls. This is supposed to be done periodically throughout each of your programs every few weeks, and the key for it is to transfer those training speeds over to our actual golf swing. So you'll see the app is telling us what weights to perform the swings at. So this one's going to be 195 grams at full intent. Full intent is categorized just as the maximum driver swing you would do on the actual golf course. And as we transition into the other weights, we're doing it at max intent, which is supposed to be more than what full intent is, something you wouldn't actually use on the golf course, but really trying to push yourself to swing your absolute fastest. So we transition from 145 grams to 240. And then we're going to do the same exercise with our driver. No ball this time, just air swings, trying to swing at our absolute fastest. And you can see our driver max swing is significantly faster than what we were doing before we started our sack session, hitting an average of 117 miles per hour. And then we're going to transition to 8 swings with an actual ball. You'll see here, I get a few swings above what I've been cruising at, a couple of them in the 115 mark. It is a bit of a psychological difference when you do have the ball in front of you. It is a little bit more difficult to swing at your absolute fastest when you're also focused on hitting the actual ball. We did the best we could, averaging about 113 miles an hour, which was a tad bigger than we were at before the stack session. Then after a small break, I went ahead and hit 5 more drivers just to see where we were at. Not much of a difference. Both averaged out to about 112 miles per hour club head speed, but in terms of this speed priming session, we did have a small increase from the last time we did it, and progress is progress, and that's all that matters.
So there you have it, guys. That's my review of the stack system. Overall, really happy with the progress. I would say it's worth it, for me at least, even with the price. It's made a huge difference to my game. I'm hitting the ball a lot further. I've also noticed that the speed travels through the bag as well. Not only am I gaining distance with my driver, I'm also picking it up through the irons as well. So I'll tag a referral link in the description if you guys want to purchase the stack. You get $50 off your purchase. So thanks for watching, guys. Catch you in the next video. Peace.